We welcome Coach Pearl and Auburn student athletes Jared Harper and Javon McCormick to the dais. We'll go ahead and remind you to, when you have a question, when we open it to questions, please hail the microphone holder and ask your question into a microphone. During the student athlete period, if you can direct your question to a student athlete, that's helpful. And we'll go ahead and open it up to questions, or to a brief opening statement from Coach Pearl. Coach?
I want to congratulate New Mexico State, Coach Chris Jans, on an outstanding season. His team plays like he coaches. No fear. They're well coached. They play together. They're relentless on the boards. I told my team the toughest one for us to win was probably going to be the first one. The next game, the team will play, Kansas or Northeastern, are not better than New Mexico State. They're as good. That's just a great compliment to New Mexico State. But our kids worked hard to build that lead, and obviously we did not do a great job of taking care of the ball, but give New Mexico State credit for pushing us to the limit.
Let's direct questions now, if we could, to Auburn student athletes Jared Harper and Javon McCormick, and when we've exhausted those questions, we'll turn it over to questions for Coach Pearl. Question for Auburn student athletes.
Question for Jared Harper. Jared, every time they made a run there in the second half, seemed like you came up with a big shot. Same in the SEC Championship. Talk about the play in the second half and the timely shooting from the three-point line from you.
I feel like I started to shoot the ball well. I was able to get downhill and get a layup early in the second half. That really helped my confidence. And now I think I hit my first three to start the second half. So just being able to make plays, my teammates trusted me. So.
More questions for Auburn student athletes?
Jerry, what was that atmosphere like at the end of the game in the final minute of an intense NCAA first-round matchup?
Well, like Coach said before, we knew our first game was going to be our hardest game. We kind of made some plays down the stretch that didn't help us. We made a lot of mistakes. Me personally, I made a couple mistakes, a couple turnovers, bad foul situation at the end and getting myself at the game. So I'm just glad I have my teammates bail me out.
Javon, you're flashing the choke gesture in those last free throws. Were you hoping to get the free throw shooter's attention there?
Yeah, I know. I see all in his face. He was pretty scared. And we knew coming in there was a bad free throw shooting team, so that played the key.
Javon, could you kind of describe the Auburn swagger for me?
I feel like I really can't tell you. We all got a chip on our shoulder, so we just come out with that swag, and yeah.
All right, we'll dismiss the student athletes and then direct questions to Coach Pearl. Thank you, guys.
You guys are spectacular.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Can I follow up on that chip, that swagger?
Sure.
I'm glad you think we have a swagger, but I think the hesitation in answering the question is because I'm not so sure our kids do in this sense. He came back with it. He says we kind of got a chip on our shoulder. Javon was not a heavily recruited player. Most of our guys were 3 and 3 stars. So we've developed a confidence and a trust in one another and our depth as the season's progressed, but I don't know that we really have a swagger yet.
Bruce, how agonizing for you was that last few minutes of that game? I mean, have you ever been involved in anything quite that preposterous?
Dana, the only time I can remember almost losing it like that was when we did lose it Jared's freshman year against Missouri, first round of the SEC tournament. And it was kind of unfolding the same way. No matter how many times you practice your spacing and what you want to do in those situations. Until you get that moment, you just don't know how you're going to react. We obviously panicked and made our share of mistakes, which could have cost us the game. But at the same time, we had made enough really good plays throughout the game against a really good team. And that's a really good 5-12 win for Auburn, because that New Mexico State team is formidable. I don't want to do it again, though.
Coach, on that final sequence, you know they were going to look for a lob towards the basket. I thought your defense did a great job of forcing it in the middle, forcing the kick out, and a wild three. Was that the plan? You know, tuck into the middle and force a long jumper?
Again, Chris did a great job with that call. You know, thinking 1-7, we got to protect the rim. They've got some good lob things in there. So I put my center, one of my centers on the ball. I actually played two centers, one to protect the rim, but we did not switch out on the ball side shooter. And so that was a mistake, and they got a clean look, and they could, you know, obviously could have knocked it down, but we got a contest. And you know, we're fortunate.
Bruce, do you take anything from this game and apply it to the next round?
Could you repeat that? I apologize.
Do you take anything from this game and apply it to the next round?
Guys, this was our 5th game in 8 days. Stop and think about that. This is our 5th game in 8 days. It looked like it. Bryce was tired. Jared was exhausted at the end of that game. And so I think what I'm going to take away is that we're going to be fresher. Horace, he's the energy bunny out there. He didn't have a ton of energy. This is his 5th game in 8 days. We played Sunday. We traveled all the way across the country. And, I mean, we had to play hard because of the way New Mexico State plays. Our kids were popped at the end.
Time for one more question if there is one. Okay, thank you, Coach. We welcome New Mexico State Coach Jans and student athletes to the dais. A.J. Harris and Johnny McCants will take a brief opening statement from Coach and then turn it over to questions for student athletes. And once those have been exhausted, we'll return to questions for Coach. Coach?
Heck of a college basketball game. You know, that's kind of what March Madness is all about. Really proud of our guys. I think a lot of teams would have packed tent and and went home when it looked pretty bleak there for a while. I think they got it up to 13, and our huddles were lively. They were encouraging one another, and we just kept trying to whittle it back. And, we gave ourselves a chance. We gave ourselves a chance in the end to come from behind and get a win in the tournament, but unfortunately we didn't.
Questions for A.J. Harris and Johnny McCants? We'll start right here.
AJ, great game. I just want to ask about the sequence at the end. Wanted to know, did you know you were down by 2? And based on that, talk about your decision to kick it out for the win, I guess.
I seen the points, and we was down 2. I just felt like Terrell Brown was clearly wide open. He got a great shot off. He got fouled, and I was just trusting my teammate, my partner.
I'm sorry, but did you think you had an open shot? I mean, for us, it looked like you were open, but I don't know.
Yes, I did. I had the open shot, but I just felt like Terrell Brown was going to hit the 3.
More question for New Mexico State student athletes.
Johnny, you got a lot of guys on this team that are going to be back next year. How much encouragement do you take, even in a loss, from this game going into next year?
This loss is kind of hard for us, but we got a lot of young guys, and it was the first time in the tournament. And I feel like they saw what we could do this year, and I think we're just going to take this loss right now for a couple of days, and we're about to get right back to it next week. We can't dwell on this for a long time. I mean, season comes fast next year, so we just got to be ready for that.
Anything else for student athletes?
AJ and Johnny, can you talk about, you guys shot the 9th most threes in the country this year. Can you just talk about the philosophy of taking a 3 over a 2 a lot of times?
Could you say that again one time, please?
You guys shot the 9th most threes in the country this year. Clearly, that's not an accident. I just wanted to get your thoughts about taking the 3 over the 2 at any time in the game.
We got shooters that stay after practice, and they work on their shot all the time. And when one gets going, like, we go on a little streak for them. But we try to get the ball inside as most as we can. I mean, they're a good team. They're on the high side the whole time, so it's kind of hard to get it in. But we had open shots at the end. We had open shots the whole game, but we just couldn't let them fall.
Anything else for these two?
For Johnny. Johnny, you did a good job protecting the rim tonight. Going into this game, was that the plan? Protect the rim, make them kick out and hit those long shots? Because you did a great job protecting today.
The plan was to don't get beat at point of attack, but if we do, try to step in, take a charge. Because all the teams that they play against, they're all athletic, they want to block shots, and they're not used to people trying to take charges. So we try to take charges as most as we can. We try to shield the rim as most as we can and have them kick it out and scramble off that. And we try our hardest to take as many charges as we can, but we didn't get the calls.
All right, we'll dismiss the student athletes and then return to questions for Coach Jans. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach?
Chris, in that situation, given your druthers, does he take the layup or does he kick the ball for the 3?
Obviously, I didn't have any timeouts, and we've been in a lot of those situations all year long, and I've trusted my guys to make great decisions, and we have. We've won a lot of games just like this game unfolded. We won a lot of games where the ball was in A.J. Harris's hand or Terrell Brown's hand, and the clock was running down, and we made the final shot. And right now you can sit up here and second-guess his decision to kick it out to Terrell Brown instead of, trying to lay the ball in. And, obviously at that point it's out of your control, and you got to trust your players, and players make plays. And if he does, make all 3 free throws or makes the 3, it's a Ali Faroukmanesh moment and that will be remembered forever. And that's what happens, in the NCAA tournament. I trust my players. Players make plays, and it just didn't work out for us this particular time.
Coach, it was well, for whatever it was, have you watched the replay of it yet, or are you almost not wanting to see that? I don't know how open he was because it wasn't right in front of me, but.
I did not watch the replay, no.
Will you?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that, or is it going to be painful?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it at some point. I won't watch it today. I won't watch it tomorrow, but at some point I'll get over this and put myself back together and sit down and watch it. It'll be hard, I'm sure, but at the same time, I'm really proud of our players. I mean, again, a lot of teams would have went away, and they didn't. They showed what they're made of. They showed how much character they have. They show how resilient they are and how hungry they are. And I think everybody understands there's no moral victories in sports, and certainly there isn't in the NCAA tournament. But at the same time, I'm proud of our players, the way they competed and stuck around and found a way to have a chance to win the game.
Hey, Coach, with a couple minutes left, you guys are still down by 8, and you had a hard time making a dent into that cushion. What was the attitude like of the guys at that point? Did you think that this could come down to the end?
They were awesome. I mean, they were awesome. They were encouraging one another, picking each other up, very lively in our huddles, which, has been the case the last few weeks of the season. They've really bought into what we were doing, and we had a big winning streak going, and they had a lot of confidence. And we had been in that situation, earlier this year, and we try to talk about that and lean on that, and it was just too little too late.
Chris, you've had 50-plus wins in your 2 years at New Mexico State, back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances against Power 5 opponents, quality Power 5 opponents, and you got basically your whole team coming back. What can maybe New Mexico State and you guys do to maybe get a higher seed if you win the WAC next year? And what can the WAC do as a whole to be better to put, the champion in that position?
Obviously, the next step for our program is to win this game, and go to the Sweet 16, hopefully. And we know it. We understand the history of this program and how meaningful this program is to the people of Las Cruces and to the university and all the Aggie fans that follow us worldwide. And we understand, how important that is. And we want to make it happen. We've had 2 cracks at it. We weren't able to accomplish that goal to kind of kick that door in. But, we got a lot of guys back, and we'll certainly regroup and, pick up our pants, if you will, and get back to work at some point. But it's disappointing. We had a chance to, be a team that won a game in the tournament for our program. It's been quite some time, and I know the fan base is dying for it, and we are too. But hopefully, the WAC will continue to improve. We've I think turning heads nationally in terms of our numbers, ranking-wise, et cetera. We've got really good coaches in our league, and they've been allowed to, string together recruiting classes, and everybody's scheduling a little more aggressively to try to help one another. This past fall, we had a lot of near misses in our league. There were a lot of teams that, had chances against teams that were ranked higher than them that would really help their particular resume and our overall resume, and hopefully that'll continue, and hopefully next fall, we'll win some of those games, so whoever represents the WAC next year will have a chance to have a little better seed.
Coach Jens, you've been a part of some of these tournament games like here and in your past, so are you guys equipped to advance in the tournament now? Like, are you guys built to advance here? Like, physically, I felt like you guys matched up with them. It's just a matter of getting a better seed and knocking down some of those shots at this point, or?
I think so. I mean, we could have a whole different narrative right now. Make another free throw or 2. Trev makes that last shot, and he shot the ball extremely well from 3 tonight. And I think we were prepared this year more than we were last year. We talked about it prior to the tournament that we felt last year we had to make some changes in how we played offensively and spread the court a little bit more, and it was beneficial to us, and I thought it was beneficial to us this afternoon. You know, we out-rebounded them 39-24. You know, they outsized us, you know, all the way up and down the roster, and but we expected to out-rebound them. That's kind of what we do. That's our calling card, and you know, I think we've got the right players, the right mindset. We just got to keep getting better. We got to keep getting better, and hopefully put ourselves in position to have a chance next year.
We have time for one more question if there is one. All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.